I never imagined things would get to this point. When I married Daniel 7 years ago, I was certain we were solid. He was kind, consistent, and maybe too predictable. Somewhere along the way, I let my boredom get the better of me. The excitement faded, routine set in, and I made the worst mistake of my life. I cheated. It wasn't planned, and it wasn't with someone important. It just happened. And after it did, I buried it, convincing myself it was a one-time thing. But guilt doesn't sit quietly, and soon I began to wonder if Daniel had started pulling away from me too. He began staying later at work, spending more time on his phone, and growing quieter at home. A voice in my head kept whispering, what if he knew? What if he was cheating too? Paranoia took root. I justified it by telling myself I needed to know the truth. I didn't think about how hypocritical it was. I just wanted answers. So I hired a private investigator to follow him. I didn't tell anyone, not even my closest friend. I was ashamed, but I couldn't stop myself. Days passed while the investigator did his job. I waited, restless and anxious, checking my phone constantly for updates. When he finally called to give me the report, my hands were trembling. I expected photos of Daniel with another woman, evidence that would either justify what I'd done or destroy what was left of our marriage. Instead, what I received was something else entirely. The report showed Daniel going to the same places after work: a hospital, a flower shop, and then home. No strange hotels, no unfamiliar women. What truly shattered me was what came next. The investigator had included photos and notes. Daniel had been visiting his mother in the hospital every evening. She had cancer, something he hadn't told me about because, according to a nurse he spoke with, he didn't want to worry me while I'd seemed stressed and distant lately. He brought her flowers, read to her, and sometimes sat silently holding her hand. That was where he was all those nights I suspected him. I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. All this time, I had been wrapped up in guilt and suspicion, projecting my own betrayal onto him. Meanwhile, he was quietly carrying a burden alone, still trying to protect me, even as I grew cold and distracted. He had no idea that I had been unfaithful. The weight of that knowledge crushed me more than if he had found out and screamed at me. That night, I sat at the kitchen table, the report open in front of me, tears falling onto the pages. When Daniel came home, I didn't know how to look at him. He kissed my cheek like he always did, and asked how my day was. I wanted to confess everything, but the words caught in my throat. I simply said, "I love you," and he smiled, completely unaware of the storm inside me. I haven't told him yet. Maybe one day I will. Maybe I'll carry this guilt with me forever. But the truth is, I lost something more than his: trust. I lost the version of myself I thought I was, and nothing the investigator uncovered could compare to the pain of realizing how deeply I had failed the one person who had never stopped loving me.